Give you the one person who could play Victor Von Doom.
Vice President of the United States, Tim Walz.
Society that does not put equity and inclusion at the center of it is certainly going to eventually come to the places where we're at. This is a moment of inflection. It's a moment of real change.
This is a guy, he's very liberal. He's very thin-skinned, by the way. People will get to know that about him. He cut the press off because they were making critical statements. That will come to bear. He handled COVID terribly. He was a lockdown governor. He makes Cuomo, he's in the Cuomo crowd as far as the nursing home deaths. The chaos of the George Floyd riots are well known. What's less well known is the COVID fraud, feeding our future, $250 million that he oversaw and allowed to happen. He's also radical on sex changes for minors. He blew an $18 billion surplus. I could go on and on. He's a failed governor in a radical left-wing state that's out of control. Police units don't want him showing up to funerals. They understand he's a defund the police kind of guy, just like Kamala Harris is. This is a radical ticket. Americans are going to be exposed to it. Minnesotans have lived with it. And I think Walz, they'll have their day today, but people are going to know more about him.
As a woman, I think there's no greater threat to our health than leaders who support gender transition surgeries for young minors, who support putting tampons in men's bathrooms in public schools. Those are radical policies that Tim Walz supports. He actually signed a bill to do that. He supports men in women's sports. That's a real threat to women and girls across this country. These people are radical.
Look, Tim Walz, he's no one to scoff at. He unseated a 6-term Republican in Congress. He won a conservative district. He began as a moderate. And then he had a radical transformation as soon as he got a trifecta in Minnesota. I think it is fair to call him a progressive in sheep's clothing. When you look at his record over the last few years, what you see are transgender surgeries for minors, carbon electrical grid by 2040, driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. In function, his abortion policy allows abortion until birth. These are policies that are far to the left of America. And as John McCormick at the Wall Street Journal pointed out, Kamala Harris has to do the exact opposite of what Tim Walz did. Tim Walz became more progressive. Kamala Harris is trying to become more moderate. But Republicans are going to say, you've shed all your progressive policies, but yet you chose a progressive instead of the guy who outperformed Donald Trump and Joe Biden in Pennsylvania, and that man's name is Josh Shapiro.